Hi, humanity. Today we're going to be talking about biohacking. It is actually one of my favorite topics because biohacking is based on science. Hippocrates, over 2,000 years ago, has said that all disease stems in the stomach, and he is absolutely correct. Modern science has proven that our stomach is our third brain. There's over 30 neurotransmitters in there, and 90 to 95% of serotonin is in the stomach. Serotonin is what a lot of people take when they are depressed, so it's a very important hormone that is located in the gut. Biohacking is a terminology that David Asprey made very popular with his company Bulletproof Coffee. It's all about feeding your mitochondria, making sure your hormone levels are great, making sure you're sleeping correctly and you're getting the most efficient type of sleep possible. It's about dealing with stem cells. This is all about hacking your body from your brain and neural feedback all the way through to every single cell down to your mitochondria to make sure that you are living your best possible life as long as possible. Today's video is dedicated to today's time. It is 2020 and we're about to enter into fall, winter, and we want to make sure that our immunity is strong. So this video is going to focus on two topics. It's going to focus on how to hack your immunity for a better fall, winter, and anti-COVID, and also how to hack your sympathetic nervous system to be into parasympathetic nervous system so that you can have a calmer, more efficient, hormonally balanced existence. And it will make you a better leader, a better CEO, a better parent, a better friend, a better whatever it is that you want to be better at. So this is to living a better life. Today we're going to be talking with biohacking with Brittany. She is a nutritionist and will give us a holistic approach to how to focus on how to get there as very busy entrepreneurs traveling, going into fall, winter. And so I'm very excited to interview her today. I hope you stay tuned and watch this video all the way through. Hi, Brittany. I'm so happy to have you on here with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. Where are you located right now?
So I am in Vancouver, BC. Beautiful day outside, feeling like autumn,
The place where all the happy people live.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. So we're going to jump right into this. And the two things I want to focus on is we're going into fall, winter. And so immunity is a big thing, right? And so we still have COVID, the pandemic is going on, and we're about to get into wintertime. And secondly, I know my audience, are a lot of people in tech, a lot of people in real estate, and we're working our butts off, investing, running around, like 100-hour work weeks, and just we're always in our sympathetic nervous system. And like, I want to get people out of that cortisol, and like, I need to breathe too. And parasympathetic, and like little tips and hacks and things of that nature. So somebody comes to you, it's fall, winter, they want to boost their immunity. What are some things that you generally recommend?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can go about this, but something that you already touched upon was stress. So even if you're eating like the most perfect diet and it's 100% organic and it's like local from down the road or you farmed it yourself, whatever, like the best diet, if you are chronically stressed and you're on the go all the time and you're rushing and you're not resting, it is going to cause like havoc in your body. So it's almost like, even though nutrition is such a staple, it's really for immunity and keeping sickness away and being able to fight off viruses or bacteria or whatever we come in contact with. Your body really needs to be in a very healthy state, and stress is like the worst thing for that. So of course, like a normal amount of stress, a little bit of stress is normal. So if you go to the gym and you're lifting weights and you're causing stress in your muscles like that, that's okay, that's normal. But if you're going to the gym and exercising chronically every single day for hours, that is too much stress. It's too much on the body. So it's really about like finding the correct level that works for you. And it's very, very unique. So it's based on like sex, it's based on age, it's based on what you can handle, where you're living, all sorts of things, right? So it's very, very different. But I would say immunity wise, like the best thing would be is like get a hold of your stress and realize when you're stressed too. So like, that's the biggest thing is when I talk to clients, like they don't even realize that they are in that sympathetic state until you actually like teach them or ask them. And then they're like, wow, I'm not breathing properly. Wow, my heart is racing. Oh my gosh, I haven't eaten today. Like all of these different things. it's like, okay, you really need to get grounded and just like chill the F out, because you're driving your body nuts, and it's going to be it's going to cause chronological issues for so long.
Usually, unfortunately, it's like an actual disease or something that makes you stop and say, okay, like something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, I can tell, but and I can tell what I am too. Like even today, like I've been so busy with work, and I can tell that I am not in a parasympathetic state. Oh my gosh. See, I can't even talk properly. So,
You know, for
I
yourself,
think,
like, what is one like symptom for you?
yeah. So for me, number one is like I'm not breathing properly. So I will not be like breathing into my belly properly.
Okay.
And I think especially as women, we're trained to have tight stomachs and like suck in all the time. And
Okay.
so when you actually do that and you don't like just let it out, you're actually not breathing fully as you should be. And when you do breathe fully as you should be, your whole body kind of relaxes, right? And you actually breathe while you talk. So if I talk like this right now, I'm not breathing, I'm talking faster and my voice is higher. But if I actually breathe, then everything slows down, and then you're actually in the proper state that you should be, and you feel calmer. So that's like a thing, like it's so easy to do. And like, of course, like meditation is great and mantras are great and all of that stuff is great. But really, if you just like take a few breaths and like kind of take a step back from things, that is like the first thing, the easiest thing to do. And do it frequently too. I mean, there's different ways to do it. Like I love hot baths. I think those are great. Especially if you put like essential oils and candles and Epsom salt as well, and you kind of like hack or stack these hacks. I think that's really cool.
So basically, you're saying in order to boost immunity, you want to really lower your stress levels, get out of your sympathetic nervous system. And so that's like a big plus. Any other like immunity tips that you're giving your clients right now?
We can definitely talk about like nutrition. So, I mean, it's not really happening much in Canada anyway, but like staying away from certain things that make you sick or make you prone to being sick. So like alcohol is a huge one. So it's just being mindful of like those types of foods, or like drugs in general as well. Like some of them can be issues. And then like overstimulating the body is one as well, right? So 5 cups of coffee a day, like Red Bull, caffeine, sometimes like nootropics have a lot of caffeine in them. So it's being aware of things that are going to stimulate your body. And once again, like not keep it in this like calm, happy state, right? So it's just being mindful of like choosing nourishing, whole, and grounding foods, especially as we move into winter, to keep us grounded and keep us calm and in a happier headspace and health space.
Like butternut squash soup, like super grounded,
Yeah.
super warm. And then also, I guess, like you're saying, stay away from foods that cause inflammation, like alcohol causes all those cause inflammation. And one tip that I use to get into parasympathetic, because I'm actually chronically in sympathetic nervous system. I was born and raised in New York City, and I just like I can't get out of it. They say kissing is really good, but because I'm single right now, I kind of like play with my lips. And they say that if you do that, it kind of like gets you into parasympathetic. I'm sorry. So
that's so cute. I love that.
Okay. Sleep really helps a lot with immunity and getting out of stress and all of that kind of stuff. So what are like some tips to have better sleeps?
Yeah. So I spent like 2019 basically hacking my sleep, figuring it out. I used to wake up multiple times throughout the night or would like struggle actually falling asleep. So it was kind of like a little bit of both. But I really took the time to figure out what type of sleeper I am and what works for me. So what I always recommend is like turn the bright lights off, like start to wind down hours before you're actually going to sleep. So if you're going to sleep at 10 p.m., like I start to wind down around like 8 or maybe even 7:30, and winding down looks like making the lights in my apartment red and like turning off blue lights and wearing my blue blockers and not being on my phone It's just being very aware of like things that stimulate you that affect your sleep, right? So of course, electronics do that, bright screens do that, and just creating an environment where it feels like nighttime, right?
Right.
So like if you go into an apartment, all the lights are on and you're watching TV and your phone, it's not going to feel like nighttime. It's not going to feel like 8, 9 p.m. It's going to
Right.
feel during the day because it's
It's a lot of like bright blue lights.
So yeah, so for me, like the blue light is the biggest factor for my sleep. And a lot of people are not aware of that and they don't do that. So that is always the starting point. And then I would also look at or recommend looking at when you're eating. So if you eat right before you go to bed, it's obviously going to disrupt your sleep. So typically I like to recommend that people stop eating at least 2 hours before they go to sleep. But have like a big enough meal so that you do feel full and you're not like going to wake up at midnight and need some sort of snack because you're having a blood sugar crash. So like have a full meal with like fat and carb and protein, a very grounding meal as well. And then try and not snack before bedtime because that definitely can affect the quality of sleep that you're getting.
Yeah, I like that. I could definitely see that happen, like even to myself. So, okay, so to have a really good sleep, like hours before going to bed, like start winding things down. If you can't have separate lamps with like red light bulbs in them so that it's more of like that red light that you were talking about. Don't watch TV before bed, which is absolutely blue lights. Don't do your emails and phone before bed. No Instagram before bed. So like read a book, something that's not doing the the blue lights. And then also not eating too close before bedtime. I like that.
Yeah. It's just, so I have a setting on my phone where, well, first of all, I don't have any social media or email notifications pushed to my phone. So I literally like have to click the app to know what's going on, which is so good because I could not handle it otherwise. But then I also have it, I forget what it's called, but I have it so that my whole phone is basically off except for text messages and calls until 8:30 in the morning, and then it switches off at 7 p.m. at night. So it already does it automatically. So like I have to manually go into my phone. If I want to go on Instagram, I have to click Instagram. I have to override the setting that I have. So I'm very like consciously doing that. So because I've like set those parameters, I really don't use it now because in my brain, it's such a routine that at nighttime, I don't do any work. I don't go on social media. And I just like, even from the phone perspective and the light and the electronic perspective, you want to stay away from it. But it's also like, it's so stimulating, right? Like if someone is messaging you or you're reading an email about work, like how are you supposed to wind down if you're thinking about what you have to do the next day? Like it just creates this like to-do list mentality, go, go, go. And it's just like, you're still working. Like it's just not good. So
you just can't relax.
Yeah, you just can't relax.
Not even thinking about it.
Yeah, no, emails are the worst. You really got to limit, not that they're the worst. It's just, you need to limit your exposure to them, right? Because they can just be too much for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure.
We're just working so much now. I don't know, COVID's probably made it worse too, especially when you work from home, right? Like the balance between work life has shifted a lot and it can be a lot less clear as it once was. So you're working nights, you're working weekends. And so like my question is like, are you really resting? Like, and I just posted about this week actually. It's like when you're watching TV or Netflix, are you taking the time to like actually turn off and plug off, like unplug? Or are you like doing the floors or doing laundry or like doing some sort of activity that you feel like you need to do to be productive while you're trying to actually chill?
Yeah. It's like being very mindful about it, connect with how you're feeling. The second thing you're saying is that when you actually rest, like mindfully rest.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like if you're working out 5 days a week, you don't even realize how much stress you're under. If you're traveling and working, you're exposed to so many different like pollutants in the air. Your environment is stressful. There's so much stress that's happening. And we just kind of like plunge through life like, oh, we're fine. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate talking about top tips for immunity and getting into your parasympathetic. I definitely want everyone to find a way to find you. Do you want to tell us like your website, your handle, and things like that?
Yeah, so my website is biohackingbrittany.com. All of my handles, well, most of them are biohacking Brittany. Yeah, I work with clients globally, actually. I think I've only had one Canadian client. Everyone else is in the States or basically,
happy and healthy.
yeah, or basically in the UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, also like if anyone has any questions about biohacking or has specific symptoms that they're dealing with that they're kind of at a loss for,
Yeah.
my DMs are always open. I answer a lot of questions in there on Instagram, or you can email me as well. The email's linked on my website, so that's totally fine too.
Amazing. Well, thank you
Yeah,
so much, Brittany. I really appreciate
of
your
course.
time and
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Please like and subscribe. Your following means a lot to me, and I can continue making content if you tell me things that you want to watch and see.